Hello everyone, Anthony Dentomaro, aka Vacation Man here, and this is the Vacation Man Travel Show, episode number 2.
Hello, travel citizens. I'm Vacation Man.
Our episode number 2 of the Vacation Man Travel Show, and this episode is dedicated all to storytellers. We will explain as we go along. Our episode has a couple of great featured guests. Our first featured guest is a storyteller herself. She's a blogger. She's a Canadian blogger. She's actually relocated to London because of the way her career kind of led her there. And then from there, she's actually explored London. On top of that, she explored other destinations in Europe, and she now writes about it. And she's an advocate for young women traveling solo. So she really inspires young women to go out, travel, see the world, even if it is on your own, as long as obviously you're safe and you kind of you're going with or you're meeting up with a group somewhere in there. And that's kind of leads to segment number 2 of our show, which is our featured tour operator. And our featured tour operator is Contiki Tours, and they are huge advocates as well on if you want to travel solo, it's not a problem. Go on a Contiki tour. You're going to meet some great people. You're going to be with a great group of people who are guiding you through their tours. So we have president of Contiki Canada, Gabrielle Needham is on our show. We thank her for being a part of the show. Our featured destination being that Sally has relocated to London, and Contiki's number 1 destination is London. Our featured destination for the show is London. So that's really great. On top of that, just right off the top of the bat of the show, we're featuring a little video about an amazing traveler from the 1300s. His name is Ibn Battuta. And Ibn Battuta has a really great line that says, "Traveling, it leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller." This is the story of Ibn Battuta, one of the greatest explorers of the 14th century. Ibn Battuta was born in Tangier, Morocco, in 1325. At age 21, he left his homeland for the Middle East. He intended to complete the Hajj in Mecca, but he also wished to study Islamic law along the way. Battuta began his journey riding solo on a donkey, and soon linked the pilgrimage caravan heading east across North Africa. In Egypt, he studied Islamic law and toured Alexandria and Cairo, which he called peerless in beauty and splendor. He then continued for Hajj. Upon completion, he decided to continue wandering the Dar al-Islam. Battuta claimed to be driven by a dream in which a large bird took him on its wings and made a long flight towards the east and left me there. Battuta then joined a caravan and toured Persia and Iraq, and ventured north to what is now Azerbaijan. Following a sojourn in Mecca, he trekked across Yemen and made a sea voyage to the Horn of Africa. From there, he visited the Somali city of Mogadishu before exploring the coast of Kenya and Tanzania. Upon leaving Africa, Battuta hatched a plan to travel to India, where he hoped to secure a lucrative post as a Qadi. He followed a winding route east, first cutting through Egypt and Syria before sailing for Turkey. From Turkey, Battuta crossed the Black Sea and entered the domain of a golden horde known as Uzbek. Battuta next traveled east across the Eurasian steppe before entering India via Afghanistan and the Hindu Kush. From there, the Sultan in Delhi made Battuta his envoy to the Mongol court of China. After making a stopover in Sri Lanka, he rode merchant vessels to Southeast Asia. In 1345, 4 years after first leaving India, he arrived at the bustling Chinese port of Quanzhou. He finally turned around and journeyed home to Morocco, arriving back in Tangier in 1349. On the way back, he embarked on an excursion across the Sahara to the Mali Emperor, where he visited Timbuktu. When Battuta returned to Morocco for good in 1354, the country's sultan ordered him to compile a travelogue. He spent the next year dictating the story to a writer named Ibn Juzal. The result was an oral history called A Gift to Those Who Contemplated the Wonders of Cities and the Marvels of Traveling, better known as the Rila, or Travels. Following the completion of the Rila, Ibn Battuta all but vanished from the history records. He is believed to have worked as a judge in Morocco and died sometime around 1368, but little else is known about him. It appears that after a lifetime spent on the road, the great wanderer was finally content to stay in one place. Ibn Battuta had one saying, traveling, it leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller. We have Sally Saint-Marseille, who is a writer for Dave's Travel Corner. She's a blogger and she loves blogging about her experiences. Sally, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm good, thanks. So, like I said, Sally moved over to the United Kingdom. So right now she is with us live from the United Kingdom. So it's about 7 p.m. around that time in London.
5 hours ahead of Canada, yeah.
5 hours ahead. Now, Sally's a Canadian. She's from Sudbury, and we'll ask her a little bit about herself, what kind of got her to London, and sometimes the career paths that you choose really open up doors for other things. So that's a really great thing. So Sally, give us a little bit about where you came from, what you do right now, and why you got in. What's your passion for travel?
Right. So I'm a radiographer. I work at a hospital doing x-rays to simplify. And yeah, I basically just moved my career overseas because I've never been to Europe before. And I just wanted to do all this traveling and get all these countries off of my bucket list. So when I first came over, I landed in London, of course. And I was there for about 3 days before I moved into my flat. While I was there by myself, I stayed in a hostel, and I actually started with a walking tour, which I highly recommend everybody to do. Walking tours are very popular in all the major cities in Europe. Basically what it is, you just meet your guide at a meeting point. It could be about 2.5, 3 hours, depending. And it's no cost, they say, but these guides are working off of tips only, so they don't make money unless if you tip them at the end of your tour. And that all, there's no minimum or maximum, of course. It's all you decide based on the quality of the tour how much you want to tip your guide. And I think that it should give them a decent amount, because the guide that I had in London, he was a Europe history undergraduate. They're very, like, these people have degrees, you know, and they're very informative. We went to Trafalgar Square. He gave us all this history on all of the war monuments, all the statues. Fun fact, there's something like 20,000 statues alone in London, just war memorials all over the city. So just things like that. So we, like I said, about 3 hours, we stopped at Trafalgar Square, Buckingham Palace. We saw Big Ben, went to St. James Park, and I believe, and then we walked down this alleyway that was featured in Harry Potter. So it's just all these fun things that you do. And if you're on a budget, it's a great way to see a city, and it's all depends on what you want to pay them.
That's great. And you know what, that budget thing is really good, because especially when you centralize yourself in a country, for example, London, and you want to get to other outreaches in Europe, low-cost travel airlines are there, phenomenal way to travel, train, phenomenal way to travel, and it saves that little bit in your pocket, especially with the competition for these low-cost airlines, and obviously using a train to get, especially in London, to get to Paris or to get over up into to Scotland or Ireland. You know, obviously a good way to travel that way. Give us a little bit about what got you passionate about travel and what you're writing about. So you feature your articles are on Dave's Travel Corner. We'll have the link up on our interview. Give us a little bit about what got you into writing about travel. You know, let alone just sharing your pictures on your Instagram. What's great about that?
Well, you know, you can only share so much details on Instagram. It's just photos, basically, right? You can only write so much. I really wanted to share my experience in depth. Like I said, just I want to inspire young women to get out there on their own and do these things solo. Um, so I find when I'm searching a destination, I'm looking for hotels or things to do, I always look at the reviews. Reviews are a key tool for me when I'm booking a tour or hotel, like I said, because you get the thoughts of people that have already experienced it. So that's basically what I'm doing with my blogs. I want to write about my experience so people have a good idea of what they're going to be doing once they're there.
Right. No, and one of your blogs that you wrote is a lovely little blog. It's called "A Long Weekend Exploring Geneva," and in London they have Bankers Days or Bankers Holidays, and you took advantage of that and you visited a friend over in Geneva and had a great time. A few friends there. So tell us a little bit about that experience, Geneva. It being one of the most expensive countries in Europe. So give us a little bit about that experience there.
Well, Geneva is a lovely city. It's very clean, of course. Like I said, the most expensive city to go to in Europe. But just the lake is just so clear. It's so beautiful, and with the mountain range. And actually, Geneva is extremely close to the French border. So we took the bus all the way out to the French border, and you literally walk into another country. Because the Schengen area is what it's called. It's all these countries in the European Union that are border free. So they don't stop you like the Canada-US border. You don't have to go through customs or whatever. You just drive right through as if you were driving across another province, you know? So that was definitely a good experience. That's not something that you can do in our part of the world in Canada. So just walking from Switzerland over to France, we went up Mont Salève on the French side. You take a cable car up the mountain, and from there there's restaurants, or you can keep hiking all the way up to the peak, and there is another restaurant. It's about a 20-25 minute hike, but it was totally worth it.
Great. No, that's good. And one of your other articles, Edinburgh in Fast Forward. How did you get there? Where did you stay? Give us a little bit about that experience in Edinburgh.
So my friend from New Brunswick met me in London. I picked her up from the airport, and like I said, it's so easy to travel around in London with the tube is what they call it, the subway, you know, the underground. And even the double-decker buses. And then once you get to, we departed from King's Cross, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. And then you just take a direct train all the way up the coast to Edinburgh. That was a 4-hour ride, not long. I think it was about £60 each, so maybe about $100 in Canadian. And then once we got there, we stayed in a hostel. And hostels they're probably not for everyone, but I just get a sleeping mask and earplugs, and you know, people come in and out all night, all the time. You just have to find a way, something that works for you. And for those backpackers on a budget, hostels are the place to stay because it only costs you maybe like $10 to $30 a night. So.
No, that's great. And Edinburgh being as beautiful as it is, it's a very hilly country, but you get to really experience it that way, you know, through just from London to Edinburgh in 4 hours, you're already there. Staying at a hostel is obviously a great thing for our backpackers. Obviously, do your research before you're planning on staying in any hostels. Make sure that you know, there's a lot of key components.
They have good reviews. That's the key there. Yeah.
As long as the reviews are good, you're good to go. What's next for yourself? What's coming up for 2018? Give us a little bit about what your next destinations are. Where are you going next? What are you going to write about next? What are you going to inspire young ladies to do and travel and read about next? So.
Well, next I'm conquering another continent. I'm going to get Africa off my list. I'm going to Morocco in a couple weeks. So I'm very excited about that. I'm going to see the Sahara Desert, do some camel rides, Casablanca, Marrakesh. And then So I got a Black Friday deal on that tour. It was about 70% off. So again, travelers on a budget, keep an eye out for those deals with tour companies. They happen multiple times a year. Same thing, tonight, just before I started speaking with you, a colleague of mine and I, we booked a tour to Turkey with Travel Talk. It's a UK-based travel agency. They have a 2-for-1 deal until the end of January. So basically, yeah, 50% off for the both of us. So Turkey will be at the end of April. We'll be doing Istanbul. We'll see Troy, hot air ballooning in Cappadocia. So that's what I'm most excited for. And next, after that, in the summer, I'm not sure. I'm usually a last minute person, but I'm hoping to do Eastern Europe and some of Scandinavia.
Very nice, very nice. And our featured destination on the show today is London, United Kingdom. Give us some hotspots that you visited, places that, like, we like to call them travel gems, that people already know, the Buckingham Palaces and, you know, the Wheel and whatnot. They want to know something, or a couple places that they've probably should really visit but don't know too much about. So give us a couple of travel gems from yourself.
Right. Well, like I said, the most popular ones, they are still good to see for sure. Like, I never been inside Buckingham Palace, but just walking around, it's really beautiful to see. In terms of gems in London, Covent Garden is a beautiful square. You can have lunch there. There's lots of shopping. Again, just that it's got that really old European feel with the cobblestone streets. Also, Tower of London. That is the castle in the city that you can. It doesn't cost too much. It's probably about $30 Canadian. And then you can spend the day there. You can explore the dungeons, and there's actually an area where, like, the Boleyn girls were beheaded. So if you're into history like that.
Okay.
Also, I really enjoyed exploring sites a bit outside of London. So if you've ever heard of the Roman Baths in Bath City, beautiful destination to go to. It's so well preserved, and like I said, like, the original bath, the hot springs, still there, of course. Also, Stonehenge. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with Stonehenge. It's a bit of a mystery. It's just these prehistoric rocks, basically built in a circle. It's obviously something to see. It's not overly exciting. You basically just walk around and see the rocks. But it's still something that I wanted to tick off my list. So.
No, it's great. It's a wonder of the world, and from London to there is
Yeah.
nothing. It's a hop, skip, and a jump away.
There's so many buses per day that take you out there. You know, obviously, there's lots of tours. It's definitely a big tourist spot in the UK. So.
No, and the conscientious traveler, the traveler who wants to kind of it doesn't have that willpower to kind of go. Hopefully these stories will give them that opportunity to kind of get on a plane, go there, and then once you're there, it's like, now what do I do? But you know, with your great stories or great little travel gems, they can now take a few other things that, you know, if they're trying to fill some time in a day or something, if there's a bus going to Stonehenge, hop on the bus, head over to Stonehenge, take your pictures, do your thing, really see one of the wonders of the world, and then kind of head back to your kind of your centralized spot. So that's really great. Sally, we're so excited. We're so glad to have you on our show. Keep writing. Again, you are a lot of our viewers, especially female viewers. We have a lot of female viewers who like to tune in. Well, hopefully that inspires them to travel a little bit, even take that risk and travel alone, which is you know, sometimes even if it's just meeting up with people, you know, take that opportunity, take that leap and go on that trip. So Sally, we can't wait to hear and read your next blogs. If you want to follow Sally on Instagram at galliant.girl, you can follow her on Instagram. Is that right? At galliant.girl? Gallivant.girl. I'm sorry. At gallivant.girl. I apologize. You can follow, you can see her pictures, her great posts there. And then again, Dave's Travel Corner. Just search for Sally Saint-Marseille and you'll find her articles there. And hopefully we'll see her new articles from her next adventures and trips. So Sally, thank you for being a part of our show. Have yourself a great evening. It's late in the UK, so go enjoy yourself. Go enjoy a pint on us. So.
Right. Okay. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Ali. Bye now.
Bye.
Our featured tour operator, brought to you by Up Up On Vacations, is Contiki Tours. We want to thank, big shout out and a big thank you to Winston Ma for helping us get Gabrielle Neidam, who is the president of Contiki Canada, on our show today. It was a last minute, but we asked very nicely, and they were so gracious to come on our show. Like I said, last minute. So we thank them very much. Thank Winston for all your hard work and help. And here's our interview with Gabby, from president of Contiki Canada.
Dear traveller, we know you want to see the world, but before you do, there are some things you should know. First, you're going to come home a different person. There'll be times when you'll need to be brave, confident. You might not think you can be any of these things. You can. Second, that hunger you've got for travel, it will never be satisfied. In fact, once you see what's out there, we can't guarantee it will ever go away. Why? Because what you're buying isn't just a vacation. It's so much more than that. What you're buying are memories, experiences, and friendships that will last a lifetime. If you're willing to take that risk, we're ready for you.
And we are here with our featured tour operator, Contiki Tours. We all love our Contiki Tours. A lot of my clients take the Contiki Tours to head to either Europe or South America or Central America. One of our amazing guests, or one of our great guests, though, and we're so glad we were able to grab her last minute kind of thing, is Gabrielle Neidam, the president of Contiki Canada. Gabrielle, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm great. It's actually kind of really great to kind of just have a lunch with you, essentially, and have a little chat today.
Yeah, we're doing the lunch interview today, so that's we won't show you what's on the menu. That's private. So, Gabrielle's here to join us to tell us a little bit about what Contiki is all about. A lot of people, if they don't know what it is, let's call it millennial, but the age group is pretty much 18 to 35. They love to reach out to the 18 to 35 age category within how they construct their tours and the way they construct their tours. So speaking about millennials, I'm going to call you Gabby for the rest of the interview.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Great. Speaking about millennials, what are the top destinations for Canadian millennials to travel to this year? Give us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this year, every year we always do research on our travelers, and it's really important. Contiki, this year in particular, we're really kind of in that millennial market, that 18 to 35, we're hitting it on the nail, on the head. And we kind of survey, globally, our market every year. And there was a few top destinations. For Canadians, the Caribbean is still one of the destinations. I'd say it's on the 10th spot, definitely popular, but there's some really kind of cool destinations that are emerging. So we've got Australia is always on the millennial young mindset. A lot of us know some Australians. A lot of us love that kind of beachy kind of allure to Australia. They also have great weather when we have terrible weather. So it's really one of those destinations that millennials kind of seek and it's aspire to go to. So that's definitely on the top 10 list. We've got Mexico still on the top 10 list. So that's kind of cool too. Mexico has its ups and downs in the last years, but it's gotten, people know, they feel a lot safer than they have in the past. And I mean, there's some beautiful cenotes and beautiful beaches and just an amazing culture and food. And that cannot be replicated by any other destination. And Mexico will always have that its advantage and some amazing history too. So people definitely go there. Other stuff that's on that list. I would say if we shift a little bit more towards the European destinations, on the top, you've got France, Italy, all the time, Italy every day. So Italy is going to be a top destination no matter who you speak to. We actually have 42 trips worldwide that actually feature Italy in them.
Wow.
So we have a big portfolio because it's such a prominent destination. Yeah. Sometimes we do short stints, but sometimes we do in-depth, full-on Italy trips. So that's always going to be on our top list. France, we've got Germany is actually growing in popularity. We at Kentucky do Oktoberfest, and it's hugely popular, especially with that millennial market. And so Oktoberfest has passed, but people kind of look forward to it every year and want to go, but also destinations like Berlin. I mean, Berlin has so much history. It actually has an amazing millennial demographic in itself. Lots of young artists and up and coming, some amazing neighborhoods, great bars, great food scene, and definitely a top destination for our millennial travelers. And Canada has been on the top list as well. So if we look at it from a North American side, Canada has been so prominent, not only globally, but even within our own Canadians. Canadians want to explore more. They want to see what's in their backyard. You know, it can be from camping, but it can be up from, I mean, one of our most popular trips, even for our own demographic, is people going from Banff to Vancouver and doing that beautiful stretch, seeing all the beautiful mountains and the Rockies and having that BC culture, totally easygoing, and very different than the eastern side, right? So there's definitely that aspiration to go and visit their own country as well. So that's
the great thing about Canada is that it's a travel gem. People don't know about it. Like you live here, to get from one side to the other, everyone thinks it's like it's so far away, it's a distance. But you know what? The beauty of every part of Canada is phenomenal. And just go. We have a little in our newsletter. We have a travel gems destination that we feature. We featured Emerald Lake in Banff, and it was. We got a lot of clicks and likes about it. So the analytics on that was huge. We loved getting the feedback from everyone saying that, they couldn't believe that there was an Emerald Lake, and like not even knowing about it, let alone reading about it, to talking a little bit about it. So there's so much beauty across our own country that, why not travel within Canada? So
exactly. I think it's one of the most Instagrammed spots in Canada now too, because so beautiful and remarkable, and it's a lot of people have that connotation as well of Canada with that look and feel. So yeah, definitely on the top. And then
that kind of goes in with our blogger, who is a Canadian blogger who's out in London.
Yeah,
but she's blogged about all her Canadian travels, and now she's starting her blog with more of the European flair. So touching on the UK. Because she's out there right now. Is that where does that rank as destinations?
I kept it for the end because it's Yeah, so UK is actually our number one destination, not only for Kentucky, but when we surveyed everybody, it was the number one destination for Canadians. So whether it's that we have some background, we have, whether the royalty and just the royalty being in the news a lot more with, Harry getting married, and engaged. I think there's a little bit more attention to it than in the past years. There has been just, it's kind of one of those must-see destinations. It's also the hub for a lot of our Kentucky trips. I mean, people can fly to London relatively affordably in Canada. It's accessible. You can go direct from multiple hubs around Canada. And you know what? A lot of people are saying that that's really valuable. The connection time makes a difference. They don't want to waste too much time or get snow delays or get any other delays from there. And so UK is definitely on the top in that, and why not? Music, great pubs, and just cool swagger on the streets of London, that people absolutely love to capture.
And obviously very friendly, just like us Canadians. So that's a plus. We want to, and the great thing about UK is you can actually leave in the morning and get there at night instead of kind of doing the overnights with other European destinations. So that's always, and that's provided by all our airlines flying over to London or through the main airports in London. So that's always a plus there. That's great. So we love that UK being, or London being, our featured destination on the show. So that's a nice little segue to that. On top of that, we've also been getting a lot about any great new trips that Kentucky's offering for 2018. What's on the horizon? What's new? What's hip? What's happening?
Yeah, actually, we have our Best of Britain. So on the UK strand, we actually have the Best of Britain. That's actually been a new trip for us. So really going into the Liverpools, Bristols, and kind of going into destinations in more in depth within the UK. There's a great music scene in the UK. There is a great culture scene, beautiful castles, beautiful museums. You know, Harry Potter World is a must see. Honestly, it's actually part of one of the Kentucky experiences that people have. And especially for millennials. So there is that connection with the UK as well. So the Best of Britain is our newest trip, but we also feature the Wales in our trip as well, which was also something that people really wanted to see and feature. They wanted that Welsh culture, and that's definitely a highlighted spot. And there's going to be more to come. I can't really speak to it right away, but we've got 2 more UK trips that will be launching probably at the end of the month.
Fantastic. So we'll look for that. And the next time we have you guys on, which probably 6 to 8 weeks, we'll see when we can grab you back on. We'll have more about that, and we'll discuss a little bit about that.
Yeah, that would be.
Anything else to add on behalf of Kentucky? Like anything?
Got a lot of new trips, to be honest. We actually have a brand new travel style. It's called the Independent Insider this year. So we launched that, and that has been tremendously popular. Every year we survey our millennial travelers, and one aspect that really came back is that people love choice, they love their free time, and they love the ability to connect with other people on trip. That is one of the biggest components, making that social connection beyond social. And Kentucky does that amazingly well. But, you know, one aspect of it is that we also saw some really good uptake with our easy pace travel styles last year. So we really amped it up. And this year we are calling it the Independent Insider. And what we've done is we have a network of 3 nights in all over Europe. And so you can do Berlin, Prague, Warsaw, and then do 3 nights in each destination. And the first day we give really cool tours. We try to do experiences that are a little bit more millennial style, off the beaten track, kind of finding cool neighborhoods, doing some cool bike trips. And then the next day is up to you. It's totally free. You get to do your coffee shops. You get to do your shopping that you want to do. You get to go see the museum that you absolutely came here for. And we really give that flexibility, but keeping that kind of cool vibe of meeting a bunch of new people and having an amazing time. And that has been really, really popular, and travel agents actually really appreciate it too, because it gives that flexibility. We've kind of made it super flexible. So we've got trips that are 12 days, but you could do a 6-day, you can drop a module, you can do 3 days here, 3 days there, and not do the other one. So it's pretty flexible. Definitely, definitely encourage people to check it out, because there might be exactly what your consumer is looking for.
And you know, the feedback that I've been getting from my clients are the connections that they make, the memories that they have, the storytelling, as our blogger kind of gets into, which is key for this episode as well. Is we're kind of, the theme is storytelling. So when we get that feedback about, oh my God, you got to see the experience that we had here, or especially 2 of our clients who went to Costa Rica to one of your trips in Central America, they had a GoPro with them throughout the entire trip, and you get to see it, especially with the GoPros, because they're pretty cool with their unique kind of angles. You get to see really what it's like to be not only on a Kentucky tour, but to see it from their eyes as well. Because when it's strapped on and attached, and they're zip lining through the rainforest, or they're landing in some water, it's phenomenal. So those experiences are great. Our clients, like I said, the feedback is the social media side of things, the social side of things is huge. So we do love our Kentucky, and we do love you guys. So we want to thank you guys for being on board for today's episode. Well, like I said, we will have you back on very soon, sooner than later for sure. And we'll talk about those 2 surprise tours that you guys have coming up at the end of the month, which will be really cool. So we'll help get the word out on that through our travel show. So Gabby, thank you very much for being on the show on behalf of ourselves at not only Up and Away Vacations, but TWA Inc. and the Vacation Man Travel Show. We're so excited that we had you on the show, and thank you very much.
Appreciate it. It's awesome to be here.
London is home to many amazing attractions, but what are the official top 10 most popular? It's time to take a look from a different perspective. Where can you get up close and personal with celebrities and royalty? At number 10, it's the original Madame Tussauds. More than 250 precise measurements are taken to accurately create a wax figure. Fancy a journey to the center of time and space? At number 9, the Royal Museum's Greenwich, a group of 3 attractions in a World Heritage Site. Steer a ship into port at the National Maritime Museum. Explore the beautiful Queen's House, backdrop to numerous feature films. Climb aboard the Cutty Sark, the last surviving tea clipper ship. Hop from one hemisphere to the other over the Prime Meridian at the Royal Observatory, Greenwich. Have you seen the dazzling crown jewels? The mighty Tower of London is at number 8. Established in 1066 to keep hostile forces at bay, you can stand on the spot where Anne Boleyn, one of Henry VIII's 6 wives, lost her head. Do you know where you can see Da Vinci's notebook and Mick Jagger's jumpsuit? The Victoria and Albert Museum is at number 7. Immerse yourself in over 3,000 years of fashion, art and design. From sculptures to jewelry, textiles to photographs. Prepare to be inspired. Now it's time to travel back in time and peer into the future. At number 6, the Science Museum. From steam trains to space rockets and everything in between, embark on an historic journey charting the world's greatest ever inventions. Where can you enjoy amazing city views stretching 25 miles in every direction? At number 5 is the London Eye. On average, the London Eye receives more visitors per year than the Taj Mahal and the Great Pyramids. Which art gallery used to power the city? Tate Modern is at number 4. From Damien Hirst to Rothko, prepare yourself for contemporary art on a truly spectacular scale. Next up is a place where you can see 70 million specimens from the microscopic to the mammoth. The Natural History Museum is at number 3. Explore the wonders of nature in one of London's finest museum buildings. Come face to face with animals from the past and the present. And watch out for the dinosaurs. Where can you see masterpieces by Van Gogh, Turner, Michelangelo and Rembrandt for free? At number 2, the National Gallery. Sitting proudly on Trafalgar Square, this landmark attraction houses over 2,300 of the world's finest paintings. So, what's in the top spot? An amazing destination documenting over 2 million years of human history. At number 1, it has to be the one and only British Museum. The museum tells the story of human culture from its beginnings to the present day, including world-famous objects such as the Parthenon sculptures and the Rosetta Stone. Now see London's official top 10 attractions for yourself. Find out more at visitlondon.com or subscribe to get more great videos.
Congratulate a few people on entering our contest from last week. We gave away a few prizes. We're going to do the draw right now, and we're going to see who wins what. We gave away a $100 gift certificate or future travel credit with Air Canada Vacations, thanks to Monique Lalonde, Nino Montagnesi, and Krista Cardona from ACV for the wonderful prize. So we're going to do the draw for that right now. Here's our bucket. I'm going to give it a nice little shake. And the winner for that is Mr. Mario Motta. As you can see right there, it's probably backwards. But Mario Malta, congratulations, you won a $100 gift certificate. And our next prize is it was our Jamaica gift bag. So we want to thank the Jamaican Tourist Board and Raquel Queensborough for coming on board and giving away coming on board, talking about Jamaica as well, and giving away our really fun Jamaica gift bag. And the winner for that is Ivana Bowers. Miss Ivana Bowers, congratulations. You won yourself Jamaica gift prize pack. We can, to grab your prizes, just give us a call or email us, info@upupandawayvacations.ca, or you can call us at 1-866-872-9290. Come by the office anytime. We're located at 4370 Steeles Avenue West, unit number 29. Swing on by. On behalf of Up and Away Vacations and Trois Inc., we want to thank our great guest, Sally St. Marseille from Dave's Travel Corner. She was very inspirational. Hopefully she inspires you to go out and travel solo and try traveling on your own. It really does help inspire and it kind of gives you that spiritual type of feel when you're traveling alone. You're really learning who you are and what you're all about in life. So traveling alone is a great thing. I've done it myself. Phenomenal way to really find who you are and kind of see the world as well. So thank you, Sally, for being on our show. Also want to thank Kentucky Canada and the president of Kentucky Canada, Gabby Neidham, for coming on our show. She was very informative, gave us a lot about the new Kentucky tour that's coming in 2018. She also kind of gave us a little bit of a hint of a couple of brand new tours that are coming up at the end of the month, which once we have them again on our show next time, we'll discuss a bit more about. So thank you, Gabby, for being on our show. And a big shout out also from the Kentucky TTC group is Winston Ma for putting everything together today. So thank you. We know it was last minute, but we thank you for all your help on that. We also wanted to take this opportunity to thank our amazing subscribers, listeners, followers, likers, our travel citizens, as we like to call you guys. Some amazing feedback, some great feedback on behalf of not only the podcast, the viewer podcast on our YouTube channels, but also on Podbean, SoundCloud, and iTunes. We want to thank you guys for tuning in, listening in, following, liking, subscribing. You guys are really the reason why we do this, and the feedback has been great, and we will continue to bring this podcast to you. We're really trying hard to be as informative as we possibly can, give you guys some great content. We do listen to your comments, so please share your comments. If you have any, if you want us to feature a certain destination, please by all means let us hear you. If you want us to feature a certain tour operator, if you're in the travel industry, please give us a shout. Let us hear from you as well. And that's it. So we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for tuning in. This was Vacation Man Travel Show, episode number 2.
Podcast can also be found at Podbean, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Also, you can watch our podcast on YouTube, on our 2 YouTube channels, Up and Away Vacations channel and the Trois Inc. channel.
Hello, travel citizens. I'm Vacation Man.